Right now, the world is buzzing with fear about a so-called New World Order. Politicians call for it, global organizations push toward it, and conspiracy theories warn it's already here. Technology, surveillance, and economic control seem to prove the point. Many are asking, are we on the edge of a single world government run by hidden elites? And the fear is real because whenever power is centralized, it always leads to the same outcome: tyranny. Tyranny means more than just harsh rule. It means the slow erosion of everything people hold dear. Freedom of thought and individuality get crushed. Abuse of power becomes the norm. Economic control decides who can buy or sell. Religious freedom and freedom of expression are silenced. And behind it all, hidden elites pull strings in secrecy, leaving ordinary people powerless. This isn't the first time humans have tried to build a one-world order of control. History shows it's been attempted again and again, and it always fails. Why? But here's the shocking truth. The Bible revealed long ago that a new world system is coming. Not the dark, oppressive order people dread, but one designed by God Himself, a system that will replace every failed attempt of man, and it's closer than most realize. The historical push for one world order and why it always failed. The dream of ruling the entire world under one power is as old as human history itself. From kings and emperors to religious leaders and political elites, the pursuit of global dominance has never truly disappeared. Again and again, men and nations have attempted it. Again and again, it has failed. But why? Let's trace the pattern. The first attempt, Babel. The story begins shortly after the flood, on the plains of Shinar. Nimrod, described as a mighty hunter in opposition to Jehovah, spearheaded the first global project, a united city and a tower with its top in the heavens. This wasn't just architecture. It was ideology. One city, one language, one government, one project. Humanity's first organized attempt at centralized control, cut off from God. But God knew exactly what it meant. A world united under one corrupt authority would mean absolute control, suppression of freedom, and unchecked abuse of power. So, He acted. By confusing human language, God reset their consciousness, scattering humanity into nations, tribes, and cultures. Suddenly, collaboration broke down, and the grand project collapsed overnight. The dream of one world order was shattered at the very start, and that divine reset became a precedent. Every time mankind inches too close to global control under Satan's hand, God steps in. Empires on repeat, the cycle of control. But the ambition never died. The desire to dominate the world re-emerged in empire after empire, each one rising like a giant and falling like sand. Egypt became the first great superpower, towering with wealth, pyramids, and armies. Pharaohs enslaved nations and demanded worship as gods, but Egypt's power declined as it was overrun by foreign invaders. Assyria, feared for its brutality, crushed nations with ruthless efficiency. Its kings bragged about flaying captives alive and scattering populations. Yet its cruelty turned allies into enemies, and it too was consumed by Babylon. Babylon rose as the golden head of empires, with Nebuchadnezzar declaring himself supreme. He enslaved nations, destroyed Jerusalem, and demanded worship of his image. Yet in one fateful night, Babylon collapsed to Persia. Medo-Persia expanded even farther, stretching its influence from India to Greece. Its kings styled themselves King of Kings. Yet corruption and overexpansion made it vulnerable, and Greece shattered its dominance. Greece, under Alexander the Great, nearly conquered the known world by the age of 30. But at the height of glory, he died suddenly, and his empire fractured into rival kingdoms almost overnight. Rome, perhaps the closest any empire came to true global rule, extended law, military, and culture across Europe, Africa, and Asia. For centuries, it dominated. But arrogance, moral decay, and internal conflict rotted Rome from within, and it collapsed into pieces. Every empire that promised stability, peace, or unity ended up enslaving nations, abusing power, and crumbling under its own corruption. Religious power plays. The hunger for global dominance didn't stop with kings and generals. Religion, too, stepped into the game. The Roman papacy, during the Middle Ages, wielded immense power. Popes crowned kings, dictated laws, and silenced dissenters. Monarchs bowed before Rome, and entire empires bent to its decrees. It looked like a spiritual one-world order. But corruption, greed, and constant division weakened it, and over time its absolute grip fractured. Meanwhile, Islam rose with remarkable speed. Within a century, it stretched from Arabia across North Africa, into Spain, and east toward India. It carried the vision of uniting the world under one religious and political system. But sectarian divisions, rival caliphates, and constant wars prevented it from ever achieving true global control. Modern experiments. Nations and elites. The pattern continued into modern times. Napoleon sought to unify Europe under French rule. His campaigns shook the continent, but his empire collapsed in exile. Hitler envisioned a 1,000-year Reich, with one system to dominate continents. Yet his dream ended in ruins within just 12 years. After the devastation of 2 world wars, nations sought peace through international cooperation. The League of Nations was formed, then failed. The United Nations followed, promising a new era of global peace and security. But wars, genocides, and divisions have multiplied. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, global elites have continued the pursuit of a one-world framework through economic unions, centralized banking, surveillance technologies, and international courts. To many, this appears as the shadowy march of a new world order, where hidden powers pull the strings of nations. And here lies the fear that grips people, that a world government controlled by men will mean not peace, but tyranny, loss of freedom, economic control, suppression of religion and expression, abuse of power, and the dominance of hidden elites who answer to no one. But why do they always fail? For thousands of years, the story has repeated. Empires rise, empires fall. Religions unite, religions divide. Nations dream of global peace, but deliver only global war. So the question must be asked, why? Why, despite so much ambition, brilliance, and force, has no one ever succeeded in creating a true, lasting one-world order? Why it always failed. Reason 1. God himself prevented it. From the start, God made his position clear. At Babel, he scattered humanity so that unchecked human unity under Satan's influence would never dominate the earth. That set of language and consciousness became a principle. Whenever mankind pushes too close to the counterfeit one-world order, God disrupts the plan. Reason 2. Division in the spiritual realm. Even Satan's forces are divided. The demons, once mighty angels, are selfish, territorial, and greedy for power. They do not share well. And so even when they drive empires forward, rivalries and betrayals break them apart. Jesus himself declared, "If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand." Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. Reason 3. The contest of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 15. All of history has unfolded under the prophecy of Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. The enmity between the serpent's seed and the woman's seed. Every empire raised under Satan's hand is part of the serpent's seed, clawing for control of the earth. And every time one nears its goal, God intervenes to preserve his purpose and prepare the way for the true kingdom under Christ. Reason 4. Human corruption and tyranny. Even apart from divine intervention, human rulers bring ruin upon themselves. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Pharaohs enslaved nations. Assyrians ruled with terror. Babylonians demanded worship. Caesars proclaimed themselves gods. Each system promised stability but delivered oppression and then collapsed under its own arrogance. The very thing people fear today, tyranny, suppression, exploitation, is the very thing that always destroys these systems from the inside. Reason 5. The limits of human rule. And finally, human rule has limits. Empires overextend. Economies collapse, alliances fracture, people rebel. The diversity of nations and cultures resists being stamped into one mold. Even with technology, surveillance, and international courts, men cannot manage a world of billions. Why? Because the Bible explains a deeper truth. I well know, O Jehovah, that man's way does not belong to him. It does not belong to man who is walking even to direct his step. Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 23. Simply put, it's not in man to rule himself, much less the entire earth. The dream of global order always ends in nightmare, because it is a dream humans were never meant to fulfill. So here is the sobering truth. The world's most powerful rulers, empires, religions, and institutions have all tried and failed. The story is always the same. Ambition, expansion, tyranny, collapse. But today, the fear is back. Many believe we are closer than ever to a one-world order through global elites, economic unions, surveillance technology, and international institutions. Is this just another doomed project, destined to fail like all the rest? Or is it something else? Could it be the final counterfeit, a shadow of the true New World system that God Himself has promised? Introducing the true New World system, the inevitable question. After surveying thousands of years of history, one question rises above all others. If human empires, ideologies, religions, and alliances have all failed, does that mean a unified, peaceful world is impossible? The answer might surprise you because the Bible says a genuine global system is coming. Not man-made, but God-made. The transition. A system designed, not imposed. Unlike Nimrod's tower, Rome's armies, or the United Nations resolutions, God's system isn't built on coercion, conquest, or compromise. It's designed to solve the very flaws that doomed human attempts: selfish ambition, corruption, division, and mortality itself. This is not about if, it's about when. And the Bible assures us, the time has already been fixed. Unveiling the system, the kingdom of God. Jesus himself spoke about this coming system in the simplest yet most powerful words: "Let your kingdom come. Let your will take place, as in heaven, also on earth." Matthew chapter 6 verse 10. This kingdom is not just a feeling in the heart, not a vague moral influence. It is a real government, backed by divine authority, with Christ as king. Unlike the patchwork of human empires, it's global by design, the very thing man always chased but could never achieve. Why? It's different. 1. God's backing, not man's will. Daniel chapter 2 verse 44 promises, "The God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, and this kingdom will not be passed on to any other people. It will crush and put an end to all these kingdoms, and it alone will stand forever." No coup, no collapse, no corruption. Its stability is guaranteed. 1. Leadership that heals, not exploits. Isaiah chapter 9 verses 6-7 foretold a ruler who would be called Prince of Peace. Christ's rulership is not marked by domination but by justice, empathy, and healing. 1. Unity, without uniformity. Revelation chapter 7 verse 9 describes a great crowd, out of all nations and tribes and peoples and tongues, standing united not by force, but by shared loyalty to God. Diversity remains. Division ends. 1. Solutions human rule could never deliver. Hunger, war, sickness, and even death itself are solved under this system. Revelation chapter 21, verses 3 to 4. This goes far beyond what human governments ever promised. A radical reset. Remember the reset at Babel? God confused languages to stop Satan and man from uniting in evil. But this coming reset works in reverse. God unites humanity, not through force or language, but through his spirit and kingdom rule. It's the undoing of Babel, the final answer to Nimrod's ambition. And unlike Satan's divided house, which Jesus said cannot stand, Mark chapter 3, verse 24 to 25, God's kingdom is perfectly united, Father and Son, angelic armies, and loyal humans working together in harmony. The contest of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 15, resolved. All of human history has been one long drama circling around Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. The prophecy that there would be enmity between Satan's seed and the seed of the woman. Every empire, every failed new world order, is just a shadow in that conflict. But when Christ as the promised seed crushes the serpent, the struggle ends. At last, the system Satan could never build, and man could never maintain, will stand. Not a counterfeit new world order, but the true new world system under God's kingdom. But what does this kingdom look like in practice? What kind of world will it build? And most importantly, how can we be sure it's real, not just another dream? That's where we go next. 1. What this new world system looks like. A world unlike any we've known. Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world without fear, without corruption, without tyranny. No politicians making empty promises, no dictators clinging to power, no secret elites pulling strings. Just peace, justice, and security for every human on earth. Sounds like fantasy? The Bible says, it's reality in waiting. 1. A world without war. Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4. Nation will not lift up sword against nation, neither will they learn war anymore. Armies, weapons, and military industries will vanish. Resources now wasted on destruction will be redirected to life, healing, and growth. 1. A just and fair society. Psalm 72 verses 12 to 14 describes a king who rescues the poor, defends the defenseless, and crushes the oppressor. No bribes, no corruption, no exploitation. Justice will not be for the rich and powerful only, but for all. 1. Abundance and security. Micah chapter 4 verse 4 paints the picture. They will sit, each one under his vine and under his fig tree, and no one will make them afraid. Housing, food, and land will be secure, not controlled by corporations or governments, but freely enjoyed by all. Perfect. Health. Isaiah chapter 33 verse 24. No resident will say, I am sick. Human governments struggle with healthcare inequality, but under God's kingdom, sickness, disability, and suffering are eliminated. 1. The end of death itself. Revelation chapter 21 verse 4. He will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more. No empire, religion, or scientist has ever solved this. Only God's kingdom can. 1. A united global family. Revelation chapter 7 verse 9 shows people from every tribe, language, and culture united, not by force, but by love and truth. The curse of Babel is undone. Racism, tribalism, nationalism, all erased forever. The big question, but if this system is so perfect, why hasn't it come yet? and what must happen before it arrives. That's the next crucial piece we'll uncover. 1. Signs that it is coming soon. Why timing matters. Every generation has dreamed of a better world. But here's the shocking truth. The Bible doesn't leave us in the dark about when God's new world system would arrive. It gives a clear set of signs, global conditions that would mark the last days of the current system and prove that change is imminent. 1. Global upheaval. Matthew chapter 24, verses 6 to 7. Wars, food shortages, earthquakes, and pestilences on an unprecedented scale. From world wars to climate disasters, from pandemics to economic meltdowns, these events match Jesus' prophecy with stunning accuracy. 1. Moral and social collapse. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 to 5. People would become lovers of themselves, lovers of money, disobedient to parents, without self-control, fierce, without love of goodness. Modern society, corruption, greed, family breakdown, violence reads like a perfect reflection of this prophecy. 1. Global preaching of the good news. Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. This good news of the kingdom will be preached in all the inhabited earth for a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. No human empire has ever achieved worldwide communication of one message, yet today millions are spreading the Bible's message of God's kingdom in every language. 1. The rise of a counterfeit global system. Revelation chapter 13 verse 7 and Revelation chapter 13 verses 16 to 17. A beast-like political system that seeks authority over every tribe, people, tongue, and nation. This aligns with the push for centralized global governance, surveillance, and economic control, the so-called New World Order. But it's a counterfeit, doomed to fail. Its rise only signals how close God's kingdom truly is. 1. The clash foretold Daniel chapter 2 verse 44. God's kingdom will crush and put an end to all these kingdoms, and it alone will stand forever. Revelation chapter 16 verses 14 to 16 depicts the final gathering of human rulers at Armageddon. A last desperate stand against God's rule. Drawing the line. So here's the reality. Everything happening in our world, from political chaos to moral collapse, from environmental disasters to cries for global unity, matches Bible prophecy exactly. But the real question is, which side will you be on when the reset comes, man's counterfeit, or God's true New World System? How to prepare for God's New World System. Preparation is everything. When you know a storm is coming, you don't wait until the winds hit, you prepare. The same is true with God's New World System. The signs are clear, the storm is near. The question is, will you be ready? 1. Strengthen your faith in God's kingdom, Jesus said at Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. Keep on seeking first the kingdom and his righteousness. This means making God's kingdom, not career, politics, or wealth, your number one hope and guide. Read the Bible daily, pray sincerely, and learn how God's kingdom will solve today's problems. 1. Separate from the counterfeit. Revelation chapter 18 verse 4 warns, "Get out of her, my people. Don't put trust in political movements, world alliances, or human schemes promising peace. Remember, every human attempt will fail align with God's government instead." 1. Build a kingdom lifestyle. Now practice justice, honesty, love, and forgiveness. Live as if the new world is already here. Surround yourself with others who love God and seek His rule. Community strengthens endurance. 1. Share the hope. Matthew chapter 24 verse 14 shows preaching is a key sign of the end. By sharing the good news, whether through words, actions, or directing others to resources like jw.org, you not only prepare yourself, but help others prepare too. The urgent question. The counterfeit New World Order is rising, but God's New World System is at the door. The question is not if it's coming, it's whether you'll be part of it. A hope you can rely on. History is full of failed empires, empty promises, and tyrannies that collapse under their own weight. But God's kingdom is different. It is eternal, just, and compassionate. What mankind has dreamed and failed to achieve for thousands of years, God will accomplish perfectly. Your role in this story, you don't have to wait passively. Right now, You can choose to align yourself with God's kingdom by learning, preparing, and living in harmony with His principles. The choice is personal, urgent, and life-changing. Explore God's promises, wisdom, and guidance in the Bible. You can do this online at www.jw.org. Engage with others who share this hope and help spread the message so more people can understand and prepare. Apply kingdom principles in your everyday life: honesty, love, justice, and care for others. Final encouragement. Remember, while the counterfeit world system is rising, it is doomed to fail. God's true new world system is coming soon, and it will bring lasting peace, security, and joy to all who align themselves with it. Don't wait. Don't be passive. Choose the path that leads to eternal hope and freedom under God's kingdom.